this guy is actually here in the studio, and here's what his Twitter bio says. His Twitter bio says, "Garden variety code hack. Nefarious webwrite and involuntary amateur stuntman, veteran of multitudinous airplane, automobile, and corporate disasters. We know him as the guy who tweeted, 'I was just in a plane crash from the cabin of Continental Airlines 737 in Denver on December 20, 2008. Mike Wilson, come on down." You guys give him some virtual applause there. Say hi to Dan Nickerson. And how you doing, buddy?
Needs information.
Excellent. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. What do you think of our set?
It's pretty plush here.
Yeah. This is new. We built this just for this. We were sitting at a, basically it was just Dan and I in chairs with a picture behind us, and we thought it's time to kick it up a notch.
Yeah, I karate chopped the last desk that we had in half during the show.
So I need to go ahead and tweet your name on Twitter just as Mike Wilson.
Sure.
That's your ID?
No, it's actually 2 drinks behind.
Oh, that's right. TWO.
No, number 2. Drinks behind.
It's got to be a story there.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you've ever heard the Humphrey Bogart quote. The problem with the world is everyone's 3 drinks behind.
Oh, there you go.
If everyone would just take 3 drinks, we'd all be okay. So I'm not quite 3 drinks behind. I'm more like 2 drinks behind. But I'm also kind of late everywhere I go. So if I'm meeting, friends for drinks or whatever, usually by the time I get there, I am 2 drinks behind. So.
I like it. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and tweet. The guy that tweeted from the Continental plane crash, I'm going to give that C a capital C. And boom. So you guys out there in the Twitter sphere, this guy's got a great story. Killer story. So you're getting on the plane and you're going where?
Going to Houston for Christmas.
Okay.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Flight 737. All right. Tell the story. What happened?
Really started off just like a normal flight, of course. Taxiing down the runway, starting to speed up for takeoff, probably about 2 or 3 seconds before you'd normally expect the plane to leave the ground. Just felt a sort of a wicked shimmy in the plane. Next thing you know, it's just hard left turn right off the runway. Start bouncing along the ground, really rough in the cabin. People are, kind of crying out and stuff. And, I'm thinking this could go really, really bad, really, really quick. And it was right about then that the bottom just dropped out. I think we fell about 50 feet down into a ravine.
Wow.
And when we hit the bottom of that, that's when we sort of stopped rolling and started sliding. I mean, the plane just violently hit the ground. I think the left engine came off at that point. The gear must have sheared off and collapsed. And fire started in the right engine. I'm sitting just, a few feet behind the right wing, basically, just looking at this fire as we're still sliding along for a few more seconds.
For the people just catching up, this is a Continental flight out of Denver Airport.
Right.
And it was how many people on board?
I believe it was 100 and some odd, 110, something like that.
It's a 737, so probably full heading to Houston, I would imagine.
I think a lot of people from the comments were thinking that was your own plane.
No, this is one of the, there's been a lot of plane incidents recently. The Continental one, the one in the Hudson, and then the one in Buffalo, a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. Hopefully things do come in threes, and we're good for a while. So before it goes off in the ravine, are people freaking out?
It was kind of eerily quiet on board. There were some people whimpering, some cries, a few people cussing, but, nothing like you would expect, not like the scene in Airplane where, people are freaking out, screaming, and, wrestlers are in the aisles or anything like that. So.
So it's more like Lost, they're sitting there, and when it happens, there goes the plane. And
yeah, I mean, most people I think just get petrified in a situation like that, and the last thing you're thinking about is doing anything, saying anything, or, you're just, in a state of suspense, wondering what's about to happen next, and
was your heart just
Drop.
pounding?
Oh yeah, and I thought momentarily about getting into the crash position, but I think in reality that's probably a really bad position to be in, because with your legs as long as mine are and my torso as big as it is, if I did that, I probably would have just hit my head on the seat in front of me, and who knows what would happen. So.
Were you in coach?
I was a coach.
You were by the engine. So you're a tall guy, 6 foot.
6'3".
So. So the tallest gentleman on the Twitter Power Tweet-A-Thon. So you've got that going for you, which is nice.
I'm the heaviest.
You're the heaviest. Yes. You're the heavyweight. So I don't know. Rob McNeely might. No, you're bigger. So you slide into the ravine and you come to a stop. The engines
the engine's on fire, the lights are out, the whole cabin is just sort of just lit by the firelight. People immediately started getting out of their seats. I mean, almost before we slid to a stop. And, obviously you can't go out the right exit door because there's a fire out there. So I look over to the left exit door, and the guy already had the door open. I don't know when he got it open, but by the time we'd stopped, it was open. And the only thing I could think of was fire, exit, exits. I mean, just animalistic thinking at that point. Just, we've got to get out of here now, and just pop the seatbelt off. And
Was it orderly, or was there a panic?
There was a little bit of panic. A few people were climbing over seats. I think the gent in the right exit row, who was right next to the exit door, I saw him kind of pole vault over the two people between him and the aisle.
Women and children last.
Exactly. But really, it was remarkably orderly, especially given the state that the plane was in. And I'm sure a lot of people were thinking this could explode at any time. And you could feel the heat from the fire even through the bulkhead of the cabin. So, but overall, yeah, I mean, I was standing in line in the aisle to get out, and there was a little bit of jostling, a little bit of pushing, but
Did they use the slide?
Well, since we were on the overwing exit, there was no slide.
No need
Basically,
to.
you just get out on the wing and then walk right off. But they
Oh,
did
that
use the
was weird.
slides.
The wheels
on
are pretty
the
much
front.
gone anyhow, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
the left side,
yeah.
the engine was gone, the wheels had collapsed.
yeah.
So,
So you walked on the wing.
Yeah, you walk right off the back of the wing and you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So
Bet you never thought you'd be doing that.
no, I certainly didn't.
Well, at least you were walking on the wing on the ground.
Yeah.
So at what point did you pull out your cell phone? What do you carry, an iPhone, a BlackBerry?
iPhone.
Okay, yeah. Even cooler in my book. So what are you using, Twitterific or Tweety?
At the time, I was using Twitterific. These days, I use Twitter phone.
Oh, you like Twitter phone?
Yeah, well, I like Twitter phone because it kind of segregates out your replies,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see them separately. Because I follow a lot of people now, and it's just a fire hose if I try to use Twitterific. You
Right.
can't differentiate replies from.
Have you tried Tweety?
I have not tried Tweety. I'll
Give it a
have to
run.
get
It's
that one.
$2.99. Okay, so at what point did you pull out the phone and tweet?
As I got out the exit, got down off the wing, got back onto the ground, started feeling that immense feeling of relief you get when you're out of a life-threatening
Thank you, God.
situation.
Yeah.
My first thought was really just, does anybody around me need help? And, I and a bunch of other people were just kind of yelling out to see if anybody needed help, because I couldn't see anybody around me that really needed any kind of assistance. I did that for probably 20 or 30 seconds before some of the crew who'd made it out yelled at us to just get away from the wreck, just get up the slope there. There was a hill that we were at the bottom of.
Right.
And there was a fire station at the top of that, and they told us to head that way. So really, it was as I started to walk up towards the fire station, got a little farther away from the wreck, and I noticed everyone around me had their cell phones out. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I should call my wife and let her know that, well, A, I'm not going to be making it into Houston tonight, and B, I was just in a plane crash, but I'm okay. So I took out my phone and started trying to call my wife a couple of times, but I guess because everybody was on their phones, it was just, no way to get out. So my second thought was just, I had all this adrenaline still pumping through me and all these emotions and everything, and I just kind of wanted to just tell somebody what had just happened to me, and the next thing that popped into my head was Twitter. And so I just fired up Twitter.
And
got right
quote
out,
it.
started
Exactly
tweeting.
what did you say?
With
This is real life, okay? Cover your
the
ears.
misspelling? Or
Whatever
I
it
said,
said.
holy shit, I was just in a plane crash.
What was the typo?
I think I had an extra B in there or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it
that-
was freezing. My jacket was still in the plane. I didn't have my glasses on, so everything's kind of blurry. And
Totally
yeah,
understandable,
it was
given
just
the
like, thumbs are
circumstances.
shaking from the adrenaline rush, So
Now, was there a twit pic to go with it?
I didn't think to take a picture until a little later, and by that time they weren't letting us close enough
Right.
back to the wreck to get anything of substance. I basically
Well, who
just
wants
got
to go
some
back to the
lights.
wreck? Only the people on Lost want to go back to the island.
I think I left a magazine.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my peanuts. Can
Yeah,
I
it
please?
did occur to me that I wonder if they'd let me back on board to get my Mac, because I think it's going to burn up if it gets left in there.
And
So-
did they clear stuff out? Or
Oh,
it's dead.
no,
It's
they
toast.
had to leave everything in there for the
Yeah.
NTSB.
Yeah.
They got it out later. They did recover a lot of items that I
Did
was
it
surprised
survive?
about. Sort of. It's bent really, really badly and doesn't work, but it,
Sounds like a good eBay auction item.
Yeah. Oh,
A little
really?
scorching
Yeah.
around the edges, but
That's actually very clever. You could
Yeah.
probably get a bunch for that on eBay.
it'll be on eBay tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Just give Dan 5%.
What happened to your computer? It crashed.
Oh man, Dan. All right, you're in
Sorry.
timeout. You just
Yeah,
gotta
that's
sit
right. Hey, that
there
was,
now. Man, that's awesome. And then the result of that, I mean, you never expected what would come next.
No, I had about 43 followers, I think, that night. And by the end of the night, I was up to, I don't know, 1,000 or so. But it was funny because for the first hour or two, not even any of my friends were responding to my tweets. I think none of them just happened to be online. And it wasn't until later that night that I started noticing I'm getting all of these replies from people I've never heard of. And it was a little spooky and shocking because,
Why are you people following me?
yeah, it was just like, whoa, what just happened here? I didn't really mean for this to happen.
But that was just the beginning. The people following you. Then came the media. So who was the first one to call you?
I got to the airport the next morning for the replacement flight, and they're paging my name on the intercom. And the first people that actually got a hold of me were the LA Times, who I feel really bad about because they called me. They actually somehow got my number and called me. And I'm talking to them on the phone, and the next thing I know, somebody else beeps in. I check to see who it is beeping in. It's Fox News, and they're about to put me live on the air if I agree to it. So I was like, I guess so. And I totally forgot about the LA Times on the other line. So if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Sorry, LA Times.
So I never did get back to them. And from there, it just got even crazier. I mean,
And of course, that was a huge story in Colorado. It was everywhere
Well, yeah,
for
absolutely.
majority of the newscasts. And
Do you live in Denver?
I live in Boulder, actually.
Okay. Yeah, you're
So-
just 35 minutes here from us, right? Beautiful mountains there. Great
it's
town.
great.
Expensive.
Yeah, it is that.
So, about how many interviews did you do over the next couple weeks?
Oh, probably 8 to 10, I guess. Different interviews, some on the phone, some live, a few print interviews, and so.
That's the power of Twitter, right there. I mean, you were the guy that pulled the phone out and put it out there, and people saw it, and that all of a sudden it was breaking news. And what you said got out there before any news agency could report that there was a plane crash.
Yeah, and a friend of mine actually, he works for another airline, and he has a friend at Continental. He was calling them up, and they didn't even know there'd been a crash yet.
Huh.
They were looking in their computer saying, well, it looks to me like the flight's, in progress and everything's going fine. And then, it wasn't until like 10 minutes after that that they actually locked all the information down, I guess, at Continental because, they want to.
how long will it be before you get the announcement? This is your captain speaking, and if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, go to. just plugs in coordinates of the flight.
Not long. Well, your bio now says, "Oh, who am I kidding? I'm the guy that tweeted from the plane crash." Which,
Seems like that's what I'm known for.
there's nothing hiding. So we know there's much more to you than that. What do you do?
I'm a software developer, actually.
How are you?
I manage software development at a company called Fuser. They're in Boulder.
Oh, that's the shirt. There we go.
Yes.
There's the
So,
product
plug
placement
in.
right there.
We had to
The only
blur
way
that-
I
we
was
had to
able to
blur
get
that
off
out
this
if you don't mind.
afternoon is if I agreed to wear the shirt. So,
Fuser.com.
Fuser.com.
Well,
yeah.
let's take a look. As
Good
long as
domain.
you now, you guys love me too, don't you? Because we're pimping your product. Let's see what Fuser does. Fuser.com. Are they watching you now? Do you got some of your peeps on there?
Yeah, I suppose.
All right, let's see. There it is. Where inboxes meet. Manage your email and social networking messages from one inbox, and keep up with your friends on Twitter. So it's a social
Well, that's
network.
cool.
Very cool. And you architect this
Hey,
content here.
Yeah, and develop it as well. So,
Very cool. Yeah. So a software guy. How funny that it's a computer guy that ends up using Twitter. I guess there's no surprises there. And the photo on your bio. Obviously, we're in the Rockies here. Where are you?
that's actually the top of Gray's Peak. I climbed that a couple of years ago. And now they're taking it to
climber.
the summit. So, yeah.
Very cool. So you got a ton of followers now. You got almost 3,000 followers. How has your Twitter life changed?
Well, it went from being this just group of friends and coworkers on there that were really easy for me to keep up with to this fire hose that I'm having to, use TweetDeck on the PC to keep up with, and like I said, I switched to Twitter phone just so I could actually see my replies
Right.
outside of the normal stream. So definitely it's changed in just the tools that I have to use to keep up with it. I use Fuser at work, obviously, and it's definitely changed also the audience for my tweets. So I try to be, I guess, a little more careful about what I tweet. especially after the crash, some of the things I said that night that I intended just for an audience of friends, that might have been said out of sarcasm or whatever, for people who know me, kind of get taken out of context a bit and put into the media. And, there were some negative reactions to that were kind of not so great to see.
Kevin Houchin, who was on earlier, who you might have met here before, the one who he wrote the section in Twitter Power on how to play nice and legal considerations, and he said, once you put it out there, it's out there. That's it. There's no taking it back. You can delete it from your stream, but it's permanent.
Yeah.
So you learned that the hard way, and that's okay. No fatal errors there.
No, not too bad.
So has Continental made you an offer?
They've replaced the things I've lost,
Yeah.
My Mac was the biggest thing, just various and sundry items. So, they did right there.
No emotional damage compensation?
Probably can't talk about it.
Because you look extremely, wounded and damaged from the whole thing.
Yeah, obviously I have problems flying now since I got on a plane the very next day.
Yeah, what was that like?
To be truthful, I was more freaked out by all the media attention I was getting that morning than I was by the plane, by getting back on a plane. So, there might have been a little bit of anxiety during takeoff and landing, but I was much more anxious about, oh my gosh, am I actually going to do that live interview that they're wanting me to do on the Geraldo show,
You seem like a kind of guy that when you're around people you're comfortable, but you're probably a little more reserved.
Oh yeah,
than a
definitely.
public guy.
I'm an introvert, so that kind of attention can be a bit difficult to deal with for somebody like me. So
Very cool. Well, I'm glad you're here. How would you like to play a couple rounds of Would You Rather?
okay.
All right. So here we
Let's
go.
watch the viewer count go down.
Yeah. In a plane crash, would you rather eat a shot glass full of live wasps or eat a shot glass? And you guys at home can play there too.
Was that a trick question?
Wow.
Would you rather eat a shot glass full of live wasps,
That includes
just
the shot glass,
wasps,
too.
or eat the shot glass?
I'm going to have to go with the live wasps, I guess.
A live wasp,
That
because
seems like
glass,
it's gonna do a little less
would be a
damage.
bad thing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a tough one.
Oh boy.
Dan, you can play too. Would you rather have every single hair in your body plucked or every fingernail ripped off? And we'll throw in toenails too.
Oh boy.
I'll go with the hair.
I don't know. I'm pretty hairy. That could take a while.
Yeah, I'm thinking warning, Will Robinson, warning. What are they saying out there? Hair plucked. Who comes
what
up
do
with
we
this
got
stuff? This is from the interwebs.
You know why? Hair plucked only hurts the one time. The nails are going to bother you for a very long time.
Well, one at a time. I mean,
Yeah, but imagine the pain
hey,
thereafter.
Chihuahua.
I don't know. I'm going to go with the hair on that one, but this is not trying to prep me for anything that's happening after this interview.
Actually, this next one, would you rather French kiss a dog or have a baby spit up into your open mouth?
Oh God!
I know, isn't this terrible? I don't make this stuff up.
What kind of dog?
A French poodle.
What did the baby eat?
I'm going to have to go with the dog.
I'll go
The
with the
dog,
Yeah,
okay. And I'm gonna one more, not that one though. That's bad. Knowing that you'll die tomorrow, and maybe that was a thought that actually went through your head when you're on the plane. Would you spend your last night out to dinner with your closest friends, or have it with your favorite movie star?
Oh, Friends.
You think?
Definitely. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Of
Friends.
course.
Who's your favorite movie star?
Brad Pitt. No, I think I said my best friend. No, I was kidding. Clint Eastwood.
Would you like to spend an evening with me?
He's probably the only celebrity I'd want to have
Do you
dinner
feel
with.
lucky,
Huh?
punk? So, what do you think the future of Twitter holds? Where's it? You've been inundated now in the whole social media thing, and now if anybody understands how quickly social media can put you in the spotlight, you do.
Yeah, I think definitely Twitter will continue to be a source for sort of citizen journalism. I mean, I think news is going to start to break more and more on Twitter instead of maybe the mainstream media. I don't think it's going to replace the mainstream media. I think there's always going to be a need for that, that source that's dedicated to reporting the news and it is able to report the news on a macro scale. But I think what Twitter gives you is sort of the flavor of an event from an individual perspective. You get the micro perspective instead of the macro. So I think, that for sure is a role Twitter's going to play. And I think it's probably just going to continue to grow just, as a casual and recreational thing for people. And obviously, we're seeing more and more business usage of it as well. You've got customer service being done on it now, real-time customer service by some of the airlines.
Right.
So there's definitely some usages like that for it.
Yeah, Comcast Cares is doing a great job. Frank Eliason does that. Starbucks has got their accounts. Did we send you a copy of Twitter Power?
Sure did.
Okay, good. It's all about using it in your business, but it's not like traditional business where you're just pitching. It's got to be all relationship based.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get on Twitter and try to spam, you're going to find yourself with no followers really quick. So.
Is your company using Twitter as well?
We don't use it for marketing. No, we do. That's not our.
That's not
a
you.
Test account, but.
Is it you guys though?
Yeah, it's one of our test accounts. We do actually have a Fuser account, but it's not used for marketing or spam. It's more just to keep people up to date with what's going on at Fuser, what new features are coming out, and to a certain extent, solicit feedback on the features that we've got, and what people would like to see in the product. And I think that's a good use for Twitter for businesses. I think if you're just getting out there and trying to just purely market and sell your product, I think that's probably a much more limited audience, and a lot of people are going to be turned off by that.
Is your team getting into any iPhone development?
We are actually. The Fuser product itself, the entire product, would be difficult to bring onto an iPhone very effectively, but there's pieces of the product that we may take and bring on, and we've got some alternative products as well that we may be bringing to the iPhone pretty soon.
Were you aware that we do iPhone development?
I was talking to one of your developers.
Because he said the keyword. He said breaking. And
Right.
so, hey, Chris, could you cue up the breaking video of the iPhone? Yes, that one. Think breaking. Not sure if you probably know about this now, but I don't know if you've ever seen the commercial. This was the best-selling app in the iTunes store for 22 days straight. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Well, you're about to. Can we roll that?
We can.
Watch this.
Now sold over
You clear them
4,000
fast,
copies.
or just make someone laugh. iFart for the iPhone, maybe just what you're looking for. Select any of the sounds. Click the fart out button. And if you want to embarrass, say the crap out of someone, you can do that too. With a sneak attack, set your timer, place it next to your victim, and walk away. And after the timer goes off, it'll play the sound that you select. Worried about someone using your phone without your permission? Don't be. With a security fart, there's a 5-second timer. You walk away, if someone picks up your phone, they'll hear your sound. There may be other fart apps out there, but with new features like Sound Recorder, Fart a Friend, and many more, iFart changes everything.
Yes.
Yes, that was my hand.
That was Dan's hand.
I am guilty. That is my video.
You handled the app quite well.
Yes.
And
That only took about 2 takes, Chris? Maybe 3?
that's because you've got, the handiwork down. You can hold a phone and push buttons, and we're all very impressed. So,
Yes.
So now you
Handwrite
know
copy.
the rest of the story. And he's thinking,
I wondered
"Good
who was
Lord,
behind that app. I had
how
heard of it.
quickly can I
That
get
was
out of
us.
here?"
Oh,
Yes, that was us, and it was very successful. And they're saying on here, girls don't fart, girls release gas.
If you go do a Twitter search for iFart, you will find many women that talk about their love for iFart.
But this guy says, "Wait, I can't see. You got to wipe the tears out of my eyes."
By the way, somebody submitted a poem about iFart, which Kevin just told me about.
Really?
If you
Where is
wanna-
it?
I emailed you, but if you want to read
Oh
mine,
yeah,
I can
let's
read it off here.
definitely. Actually, Mike, would you do the honors?
oh, certainly.
Yeah, go ahead. Put on your
Yeah,
best
right.
prose.
Well,
Yeah,
Air-to-Air Missiles by Steve Cates. In certain circles, air is art, especially when it's called a fart. Emitting gas is nothing new, but selling it is quite a coup. The whoopee cushion's so passé, an heirloom from another day. Instead, the new technology has put the whole thing on CD. Imagine programs so diverse that virtual farts become blank verse, and when you need some on-demand, the whole array comes fully canned. Eschew the schoolboy's fatuous squeak, the lingering stench that makes one weak. Instead, take progress to your heart, the fully programmed custom fart.
That was we did that better than we could. That was fantastic.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done. I think that I shall never see a poem as pretty as iFart. No, that
Air to
doesn't.
air
I don't
missile.
know.
Air-to-air missiles. Who authored that again?
Steve Cates with a K.
Little tear to my eye there. I'm
He
quite
could've-
moved.
I
Thanks
would-
for bringing that to our attention.
If he'd worked in
Ken.
Dirty Raoul, I think that would have been really the best.
The Dirty Raoul is. But do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we're talking it, have you played with iFart?
I have actually.
You.
No, it's very good.
Who hasn't?
It's great.
Who hasn't? Have you seen the latest one that has
Yeah,
the
that's
fart
by the way-
friend and the record a fart?
My phone is
think I've
disgusting.
updated,
We actually
so-
have more features video. We have Fart a Friend, so you can email friends. We send thousands of emails with farts every single day, so you can email your friends. We have Record a Fart, so you can record your own.
Definitely hit the Dirty Raoul though.
But Dirty Raoul, actually, this is named after the official fart smeller of my brother's college fraternity, whose nickname was Dirty Raoul. If I can pull it up here, he's at the top. But this is Dirty Raoul.
Oh, that is.
Exquisite.
And if you search Twitter for Dirty Raoul, you'll actually find a lot of people talking about their favorite sound.
As well, they should. Thanks,
Yes.
Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.